Diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com.
On July 4th, 1962, I found myself in the lost and found of mankind. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that it wants to be there. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that the person who lost it doesn't care for that lost item.
You are writing moments that people will learn from, grow from, and heal through for thousands of years. Together, we are co-authoring a unique moment in time. That DNA, those fingerprints, they're going to be gone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But it is your story that they will tell for thousands of years. But only if you leave it. Things that do not serve you must go. The longer you wait, the more time you give them to trick you into serving them. 22 homes in foster care, everything I wore as a scar, as a shame, things that started like Velcro on my spirit. After just a few months, then years, then decades, I had believed myself into believing that they were indelible tattoos. Sometimes we have to be broken down to appreciate the view once we start getting up. I want you to leave this place and know that you have been changed. Why? How do I know it's true? Because each of you has just changed me.
Can I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul, and honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Oh, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
I'm giving you a round of applause because you deserve it. I'm not kidding. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be back today in this chair. Yesterday, there was a rerun. I had to take care of some business in the city yesterday, so we had a rerun. And I'm here today, though, and I'm here in person. I'm live, and so is our guest, and so are you. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm Dr. Lauren. There is the bell of purpose. I just rang it on purpose. Why? Because when we do things with purpose, it changes everything. Don't live an accidental, kind of slip and fall kind of life. Be purposeful in all you do. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Mindful, full mind. See how that works? That's the figure 8 in real time. Where one begins, the next continues, and vice versa. Can I get an amen? There's one, and there's another one. There's 2. Now throw yours in the comments. Where are you from today? I want to know. Cue Whitney Houston. I want to know. I'll stop you feeling. So last night here in Chicago, 10 tornadoes were spotted. All of us were down in the basements from downtown Chicago in the Loop, along the Gold Coast, Miracle Mile, all the way out here in the suburbs. And I live in Naperville. All of us were downstairs for a couple hours. It was pretty bad stuff all over. I don't know if anyone was hurt or not. We pray not, but just send prayers that I know there was some damage and whatnot, because I've seen some of it right here in my own town this morning on my way to the health club. So, but we are safe. And so for any of you who experienced that and all the other things going on in the country, a lot of it due to global warming, I'm just going to say it, we got to do better, and we'll be better, right? One more amen. Can I get one? So you guys are looking great. Good morning. Good morning to all you beautiful people. I see you, I feel you, and I'm honored to be here. Let me tell you why it's so great that we're here together. We are, and this doesn't matter if you're watching live or you catch the replay, whenever you do that. When we come together 2 or more, we are enacting a universal promise that we are here with the same mindset, that heart set, that spirit of being of service to each other, to ease suffering wherever we can in the world. You see, when we're here and we're in agreement that that's important, spiritual magic, that's the outcome. So that's why it's so good that we're here. And who's here today to pour into you? Well, so many of you see on my all of my socials, I'm always talking about how important it is, if you have a story, to get it out there, to change the world. It was just, 10, 12 years ago when I decided I was going to put down the event planning of decades, and I was going to stop doing what I could get paid for, and I was invested in doing what I was made for. And let me tell you, what a difference, right? What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours, yes. So today's guest decided she was going to tell her story a few years back, and she's been doing a lot of work to prep herself to be able to be here today even. So who is it? Who is she? Mary EMMARCO is here. She's young. She's vibrant. She's the future. And she's got a story to tell. And I hear her walking down the hall now, headed this way. So get ready. Get on your feet. Put some hearts on the screen. It's our virtual way of saying welcome, because, here she comes. Good morning, Mary EMMARCO. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, EMMARCO. Mm-hmm.
How are you?
Hi, good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Mary, say it again. Your last name.
EMMARCO.
EMMARCO. Okay. How old are you?
36.
How old?
36.
I remember when you told me that's right. And you look like you're 17.
Thank you. But
Girl, that's a blessing. Where do you live, Mary?
in Florida.
In Florida? What part of Florida?
Clearwater?
Clearwater. Okay. All right. So, how's the weather down there? As if we don't already know. Gorgeous.
Brutally hot, but I actually escaped to New Jersey. I'm visiting my sisters and my niece, and so that's where I'm at right now. So,
Oh, nice. Okay. So listen, Mary, before we get officially started, I always dip out, just let you have the screen for about 60 seconds just to pour into the audience, kind of just speak from the heart, just tell them why you're doing what you're doing and why it's so important to you. And then I'll come back in and we'll officially get started. Does that sound okay?
yeah.
All right. It's all you. Take it away.
Okay. Hi. I am here. I'm really passionate about resilience. That's what I'm all about, helping people keep going on the path towards their mission. And having a mission and having a purpose outside myself is what literally one of the main things that helped save me. Literally, I was in a cycle of suicide, and I would attempt to commit suicide multiple times for many different reasons, feelings of worthlessness, and um, finding coaching and a speaker that really helped to make me shift my belief systems and shift my world and save me. And I feel called to help others in the same way that I was helped, and having them reach for a mission beyond themselves, having that meaning in life, having that impact is a really beautiful thing to do. So that's specifically why I help them with their purpose and to really start living that out. And I really struggled with mine too. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So let's just get right to it, shall we? Because, I'm not one to harp and constantly sit on, oh, the woes me. We all have them. It was a lot. But I do want to touch it just to set it up for the audience. Because, people go, what I know she said she's 36, but she sure is young looking. She ain't had no life yet. Just a baby. What can she know? You know how that is, right?
Yeah.
But so let's say that trauma is a surfboard. I think I said something to you about that earlier when we were in the pre-show. Suicide, depression. I've been there five times. And so many of us. So matter of fact, this is a great time to put this up on the screen in case that's what's going on in your world right now. See, why would I have that automatically ready? Because every day is a different day. Even when I sit in this chair, Mary, some mornings, I have to keep things within reach to remind myself of who I really am, because some days I don't wake up this person. So let's talk about that if we could. At what age was it for you when you started feeling some of the things you described in your monologue a moment ago, as far as the depression and whatnot? When did it start? What do you remember the age range when this all became a thing?
Yeah, as long as I could remember, I had difficulty with my dad. He would always call me worthless and stupid and effing C word, and not really many happy memories coupled with that. So that was really hard. So most of my life it was that, and I was scared of him. He used to threaten to break my spine all the time. I believed him. He had schizophrenia.
See, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is right there. Mental schizophrenia is nothing to play with.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So were you raised by your dad, a single parent, or was there two parents? Or were there two parents? What was going on?
Yeah, so it was him, and then I had my mom there, and I was very much attached to her and depended on her completely. And I felt like she was the only one that would love me and keep me safe from my dad, because my dad hit me hard in the head just one time, and my mom made him promise not to do it again, and then he didn't. So I really depended on her. So she was a source of love, and that was really beautiful. And then she just didn't wake up when I was 15, and then that's when the cycle of suicide, like, wow,
Wait.
it's too much.
What do you mean she just didn't wake up?
She just didn't wake up. We didn't know she was sick. Silent heart attack. Yeah.
She passed away?
Yeah. When she was 50, I was 15. Yeah. And that's what really made the depression and everything.
And just pushed it over the edge. Now,
Yeah.
do you have any siblings, Mary?
Yeah, 2 sisters.
Older or younger?
One's older, one's younger.
So you were right in the middle. Were they living there too when this all happened?
Yes.
So did you guys come together, the three of you? Sometimes that sort of thing, I was 10 when my adopted mom died, and so I know what you mean. It's like,
Yeah.
you can't prepare. I don't care what's going on. You just can't prepare. You just can't. And so, but did it bring the three of you together, or did it push you apart?
Initially, I would say that maybe I was isolating and I felt like they were together, and then I thought I had no one, and I had this story in my head. I realized later the power of stories and belief that my mom was the only one who would love me. I didn't even notice or see or appreciate or feel their love for me until later in life, where I got much closer to them, and so now we're much closer. But
That's good.
initially, in my own isolation and suffering and telling myself that I'm all alone in this, and really pushing them away
Yeah. What was
unintentionally.
your
But
social
yeah,
life like? I'm sorry. What was your social life like? Like in your community, in your school? You were 15. Did you have? Was there a support system in there anywhere?
um, I felt like I always like had no friends, and I always wanted to be popular when I was younger, and now I realize that that's
Looking at you, I would think you were that girl.
no, no, not at all.
Wow.
No, I
See?
barely had any friends. I was like, I didn't shower, so I was like dirty. It was like, it was like I guess a little bit bullied in school, but it was nothing compared to like what my dad was.
What you were getting at home.
So it was like not a big deal. But yeah, some people would like push my books down sometimes and like say mean things sometimes or something. And I
Hard.
had a couple friends, but yeah, school wasn't great.
So, okay, so the depression, it is a progressive thing. We see it all the time. In your particular case, how many suicide attempts did you have or have you had? And I say
Uh,
did because we know that's a thing of the past now. So,
right. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Oh,
I mean, I had
so
5. How many did you have?
hard to get. I was a shooting range, a jumping, a bag over my head. There was like pills. There was
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, there we go. Let's say,
maybe 10-ish or something.
wow.
Every every year I would lose a job. It would prove to me that my dad was right and I'm worthless and I can't even function. I can't even keep a minimum wage job. That means that I'll never be able to function, and then everyone's better off without me, the spiral. And then I would attempt, and then I'd be like, I'm stuck here. I can't even off myself. There's something wrong with
I remember that. I
me. It's
remember saying that I can't even do this shit right. I remember that.
yeah.
Thank God that we were wrong, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Completely wrong. So
Always.
what goes through your mind, Mary, when you hear the term imposter syndrome? What do you think that means, and do you think it has any applicable connection to you?
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that if you could.
Yeah, yeah, sure, big time. I feel like on some level we all have that because there's this innate human thing of not feeling enough.
Mhm.
So that kind of goes with the territory of humanness, but I think it can get magnified when you have a history of feeling worthless and like growing up feeling like that, and people telling you and you end up really believing it, and then the brain gets going because you focus on it and believe it, and then you find evidence that proves it's true even though it's not true. And so when you have that, this never feeling enough no matter what kind of thing, I feel like that's the core of imposter syndrome, because then you feel like, oh, like who am I? And
Yeah,
you're never going to be qualified, and you're never going to be enough no matter how much you study, no matter how many certifications you get, or no matter how much
yeah,
experience you get. There's always another level, there's always more. And not recognizing it's such a human thing, and I think it gets magnified when you have issues of self-worth, or you have like a trauma history and where their safety is an issue, and it's like you have to be enough to be safe. Right, you have to be enough so you can
Mhm.
control, like if you don't physically get hurt or mentally get berated or both, or so yeah, I think that's really the core of imposter syndrome, and I certainly struggle with that. I've come a long way, but I now it's just I have to recognize these patterns like, oh, there's me not feeling enough. There's me being afraid of failing. And then I have to, call BS on them. Like just because it feels true doesn't mean it is true.
You say that one again. That's a big one right there.
Just because it feels so true, but it's not. Yeah.
It's not. It's the stories we tell ourselves or we allow others,
Yes.
Especially narcissists and abusers and bullies and all that kind of stuff, like you were experiencing all that with your dad. What about this, though? What age did you start dating?
I think like 13, maybe.
13? Okay, so let's say when you were how about this? Do you feel that the impact of those things, you were hearing that verbal abuse that you were taking from your dad, and in at least one instance that you've mentioned, physical abuse from your dad, do you think it played a part in how you dealt with relationships, or even currently deal with relationships with romantic partners or that sort of thing? And if so, how? And is it a thing of the past, or are you still dealing with it?
So I'd say still dealing with it, but improving. So you know how the story goes that people say, like, you date your parent potentially.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I wondered about that. I find that very intriguing.
Yeah. So I dated guys that would really treat me bad, and then sometimes they would treat me well, and I would like hold on to that, but like they would consistently treat me bad a lot, and there'd be little moments of treating me well. So I'm like, yay, and it was almost like I'll take whoever will have me kind of thing. I'll take whoever wants to actually be with someone like me. And then when learning more and more, like I am worthy, and I am a valuable person, and doing all this work on myself, and I deserve somebody great who's going to treat me great consistently. And I feel like I'm working on still living up to really feeling like I deserve that person I want, because I mapped out this like beautiful vision of the man that I want to be with. And then he's incredible, but then it's like, who am I to deserve him? And on some level, I do feel, I think because of all the work I've done, that I deserve him, but there is still all that core stuff coming up. And
sometimes
then
like the like the bathtub ring.
Yeah,
the ring in the bathtub. So when you say the work I've done, can you just talk a little bit about what that consists of? Was it therapy, counseling? Well, I guess kind of the same thing, but groups, private groups. What did you do? How did you find your way out of that darkness and into what you're doing today?
Yeah. So at first I would attune it to just this Tony Robbins event, as it was life-changing, and I learned how to shift my belief systems, and how these beliefs I was positive were true. They were just beliefs, and they weren't even beliefs to me. There was just reality. So it was that, and then focus on contribution and finding meaning in life. That was really powerful things, and working through your fears and all that stuff. But now I realize, in looking at it, I did go through years of therapy, and I think that put me in a position where I was ready to receive the information from Tony Robbins, where I was ready to be coached. I was ready to take action. I was at least in an okay enough place to be able to act on what he said, and to like do these consistent routines. Like I do meditation and affirmations, and I actually go after.
That's Tony Robbins. No therapy.
So I did therapy for years before then, and so it would feel a little better. So I felt better day to day.
Okay.
And I would still, like when I would lose a job, for example, I'd still get into that. This is solid evidence. I am worthless. I can't do anything, and I really can't even function, and I need to go because I can't even keep these simple jobs.
Yeah.
So even though I was in therapy, I was still struggling with that.
Therapy led to the realization of self-help, the need for self-help. And then you went and you got the Tony Robbins piece, which ignited something within you. And then where'd you go with it? How'd you, I'm trying to see, it's like we keep climbing the stairs because we're getting stronger, right? We can keep going. And everything isn't downhill. We're moving up, you see. So, So let's talk about that. After you got the Tony Robbins piece, the self-help, and you're inside, you're finding your practices, whether it's meditation, I think you mentioned that, and this and the other. Then at what point did you start moving out of, okay, it's about me, Marsha, because we all go there because we're healing ourselves. We're in it alone. Woo, lone wolves, remember? But then all of a sudden, we start to understand that I feel even better when I get out of my own way and I don't make it about just me. What if light bulb moment, clink, clink. What if I could use everything I've gone through to help someone else not go through the same thing? Talk about when that moment, that aha moment, that moment of realization, and that place where you step into that thing I refer to as not what you get paid for, but what you were made for. Talk about that day. Do you remember when that happened, Mary?
Well, I know I always wanted to help people. I hated seeing suffering, and I hated because I experienced so much that I really wanted to help others out of it. So I became a nurse. After my mom died, she said that I'd be a good nurse. So then that was like motivation for me to be a nurse and make that happen. Even though in the midst of suicide attempts and stuff, I was still ended up finishing nursing school. But then
So you're healing other people. You're in there. Wow. So how did that work? That must have had a big impact on your own desires, facing life and death on a daily basis.
Well, yeah, it helps you appreciate. That was one thing after my mom's death that for sure I didn't really have, appreciating the goodness. I could hold on to these like little moments of goodness, and then when I would be home by myself, then it would feel like I would have to step back into reality, the reality of how worthless I am, the reality of how I can't do anything right, and all the stories that I had about myself that felt like when I was by myself, that all was heavy and too much, it felt like. But when I was out just thinking about another person and trying to help them as best I can, and it was a beautiful situation, but then I would lose nursing jobs because I couldn't keep up with the fast pace, and there was a struggle there. So then more.
What age did you become a nurse, Mary?
I went right to nursing school after high school. I think it was 2009. I was about 21, I think.
Okay.
Something like that.
So you've been nursing for over a decade.
Yeah. And then finding this stuff, the Tony Robbins stuff, and how it helped me, that it just transformed everything. Then I felt called to help people in this way, because I've always liked to help people with more of the quality of life stuff. I like the teaching aspect of nursing, and I liked talking to them and spending that quality time with them, as opposed to like the meds and the run around and that kind of thing, and the paperwork. All that stressed me out a lot. And the pressure of life and death. Outside
of work today and social life, let's talk about your family dynamic, how that has changed, if at all. So in a relationship, dating, married, children, any of that?
None of that. No.
None of that. All by your lonesome. I remember that. It was a big, long phase for me. I didn't meet my husband until I was 50. Wow. And really, I thought I was really going to be alone all my life, but I had to love my way into love. I did, starting with myself. And it was, I'm serious. It started with plants. I had to get a couple plant woman, friend of mine. You guys have heard this story. It's been a while, but those plants are upstairs now, and they're huge. They're the biggest things in the house. They're biggest furniture, but they were one little clippings. And I remember my friend's mom said, she's at my apartment, she goes, "You don't have anything living in here." She goes, "Here, I'm going to give you," and she brought me these clippings, and she said, "Love these, and they will love you back. And then you'll learn to love something more." And after that, I got my cats, which are 9 years old now, upstairs, Ethel and Lucy. And then after them came my husband. And I was like, wow. So I get it. I really get it. I want to ask you this, though. Okay, so it's you. What about your dad now? What's that relationship like now that you've changed, if there is a relationship?
Well, I stopped talking to him years before he passed.
Oh, he passed away.
He did, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So were you ever able to mend defenses?
No, I did all this work, really dive
After.
into this work. I was starting to get into it, I think, when he was still around, but when
What
really diving into it, yeah, he was gone.
What about the relationship with your two sisters? How's that?
It's good. We talk every week and if not more. And yeah, and I'm visiting them now. So
Oh
and
yeah, that's right. You're in New Jersey.
see
Oh,
them.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
that's now, but this may seem a little strange, but I do mean it. It's a serious question. I asked you about your relationship with your dad. I didn't realize he had passed, but I did know. I do know that your mom had passed, but I'm still going to ask. So, what about the relationship with your mom now? Because you know how we, especially that person who had our back and this and the other, we sometimes I didn't realize for decades that I had to forgive my mom for leaving because that's how I ended up in foster care with 22 homes after that because you didn't put a safety net under me. And boom, it was like someone just threw me out to the wolves. And I did not realize that I had been harboring things, buried deep. Did you deal with any of that, or do you, or currently are you dealing with any of that from either parent?
Yeah, mostly my mom, I would say, because I don't really have many memories of my dad being loving. So it was really my mom. And I realized I'm doing this deep, intensive trauma healing therapy. I stuffed everything down and I didn't
Mm,
feel it. And I didn't deal with the grief at
yes.
all. And I was really scared of my feelings. I'm just starting now to feel my feelings and to grieve my mom. And I know I would just not think about her at all. And I would just like my coping mechanism would be like, just don't think about it and just think about the future and creating this thing and making this impact that you want to make. And it's rewarding and fulfilling. And but with health, getting health challenges and stuff, and realizing that I can't really ignore this huge thing and really need to process and grief this is really big. And like you were saying, I didn't know that I needed to forgive her for leaving. I didn't even know that was the thing. I'm like, of course she didn't choose to leave, so why would that be a thing? And then I was like, I also thought it was kind of weird when people blame themselves because if it really wasn't in your control and all that, but then I
Yeah.
realized I did blame myself. I didn't know it was an unconscious thing, but I did have this strong sense I killed her. So it's like all these powerful realizations and doing this work that to work through and that I'm safe to feel my feelings and safe to think about her. And it's so it's definitely a process, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot that goes with it, of
I
course.
get it. So you've come to the place now where I know that you've done a lot of work, and then after you get yourself together, you're like, okay, I'm going to change some lives. I'm going to do my best to try to do that, and I got to get out there and convince people to trust me with their traumas, with their pain, so that I can help them live a higher life, just like I am today. So now that brings us to the work itself. So let's talk about that. You're just starting your speaking career. What made you want to do that, and what is it that you bring to the table? What is it that what's the title of your current work that you're pouring into people from the stage? And then we got a little clip of your sizzle reel, and we're going to see Mary in action. So get ready for that. That's a real treat coming up. So talk about that if you could.
Yeah, so like Tony Robbins, like the fact that one speaker could give me these life-changing insights and action steps, and I can in that moment make a life-changing decision that I can continue to do. So I've been journaling and I've been just and that's where you ask yourself deep questions like what's really going on with me? What am I really afraid of? This kind of thing's been
Yeah.
really powerful, these kind of transformations.
Now you're
So
also a Toastmaster. I
yeah.
remember you saying that. So how's that experience been? And would you recommend that to someone just getting started? I've been a Toastmaster for 44 years. And so I know the benefit of Toastmasters. So many have come through those doors. If you've been a Toastmaster, drop it in the, if you know something about it, put it in the comments. But talk about that. How's that been for you?
Wow, Toastmasters, I can't from the support and the loving environment and
Yeah.
the the actual help with my speeches improving. And one powerful person helped me. They said, you have to get more vulnerable. You have to go deeper, because I was being more surface level. And I thought I was being vulnerable, but she helped me dig deeper so I can make more of an impact, because she knows that's what I really wanted to do. So just the beautiful connections and support and help and immediate feedback, and then being able to help others and give them feedback. Someone who just got to a higher level in the international speech contest through Toastmasters, they really, oh, not me, but my fellow Toastmasters.
Well, not yet, but it will be. So let me just ask you though, were you just naturally drawn to the public speaking thing? A lot of people are afraid of it.
Terrified. I still get terrified sometimes, to the point where I feel like I'm going to pass out before. So it's a real thing, but getting up on stages, that's what's Toastmasters been so incredibly powerful, to get me up on stage, to tell my nervous system, hey, it's safe. You survived this. It's not going to kill you. And it's actually going to be incredibly beautiful, because when I get into my heart and get out of my head, and I just focus on that one person that needs to hear exactly what I have to say, and I pour from my heart, then it becomes less nerve-wracking and a really beautiful connected experience with the audience. And then people come up and they say things, and like, I didn't just feel that I made an impact. They tell me I did. So it's really a beautiful experience. So,
well, I believe you. And now everybody, you're going to have a piece of a beautiful experience, because right now, sit back and relax for about 3 minutes and take a listen to Mary EMMARCO as she pours into us through her speech.
So for me to assume that I couldn't do it because I'd been at it for so long, was I even really going for it all that time anyway? Maybe that's your thing. Maybe you tried it one time and you failed. Well, that means I can't do it. Maybe you tried a couple times. Well, obviously that means I can't do it. Find actual examples of people before you that proved that you can do what you want to do in this world. After all, it'd been years. I was trying to serve paying clients and I couldn't do it. I tried everything. I hired coaches and I tried all the things and I showed up consistently, and it wasn't happening for me. I was positive that I had to accept the fact that I just could not do this thing. Are you really created so much less capable than all these other people before you that proved to you that you can do this? What makes you think that? Does that even make sense? Own the fact that your perception of your reality is not actually reality. Open to the fact that you could be wrong about your perception of yourself and that you can't do this thing. Raise your hand if you've ever had a fear that you couldn't do what you wanted to do, even if it was just for a moment. Look around. I'd raise all other limbs if I had them. Whatever your background, whatever your age, whatever your experience, whatever your traumas are, whatever it is for you, whatever your story, whatever that proof is for you that you can't do it, look at that and rip that apart and own that there's so much evidence. There's massive amounts of people before you that have proved that at your age, that with your trauma history, with your learning disability diagnosis, with your, you name it, they've done it. You can too.
You know what? Great job there, Mary, cried contrary. Yes. Wow. I can tell when you get inside of it, you kind of get lost. Isn't that that's one of the most beautiful things that I love about speaking from the stages. What's your favorite thing so far? Because you're just getting started. You're nibbling on the crust. You ain't even gotten to the ooey gooey chewy center of this Tootsie Pop yet, but you're getting there. So what is it though? What is the thing? Let's do this. Talk about feeding off of the audience. How they give you, when you look out, can't you see it on their faces? How they give you the encouragement of, please tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. Talk about that feeling, and it's addictive, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's indescribable. It lights me up. I get actual chills in my body and everywhere. And I just look into their faces and I'm pouring into their souls. And it's such a beautiful, it's like a soul connection where I'm really helping from my heart and soul, and they could feel it and they know it. And because it's real and it's there and it's love and I'm doing that with each person that I look at. I don't know if this is the one person that needs to hear exactly this, or maybe this is the one person that needs to hear exactly this right now, or this person. So I talk to them as if they need to hear it, and then seeing on their faces and they're receiving it, and there's just that like twinkle like in their eye that they need it, and they just feel loved and seen and heard. It's really beautiful.
Yes, it is. I agree. I concur 1000%. Now, here's a curious question. Now that you're starting the speaking world and whatnot, and you still go to work every day as a nurse, right?
Took a break from nursing because of the like pressure and stress of like I could kill somebody if I make a mistake. So I actually am just doing secretary work for now while I'm building this.
Do you ever think you'll go back to nursing?
I was back and forth between it, but I was like the stress that it gives, and I really want to go like seriously and all in on this speaking mission that I have. So
that's how I was. I didn't want to do it as a hobby. I wanted it to be my life, and so I definitely get it. I get it. So, can we talk a little bit about the responsibility? The responsibility of when you say, because really what this is, a lot of people, when they say, oh, I want to speak from the stages, and I tell my clients this all the time, even before they are working with me officially, when we're still in that maybe we will, maybe we won't dance, one of the things that I push with them is this: trust me, if you don't feel you're ready to commit to this 1000%, you cannot have a shared custody agreement when it comes to the healing of others. You really must be invested all day, every day, 365 days a year. It is not the kind of thing, like I said, that you can have a shared custody agreement with, where you pick it up and drop it off, every other weekend and holidays. So how are you finding this responsibility? It can, on those days, like I said before, some days I don't wake up as this guy, but the world still holds me accountable for the responsibility of what I have accepted to do. So what about your grounding? What do you do now? Do you take it? Is it more of a sacred thing? Taking care of ourselves. It has helped me because I know I can't just go backwards and lay in the bed and let the curtains stay shut and not get up and get in the shower and all those things I used to talk myself into believing were rational thinking. But now I get up because I'm expected to sit in this chair, number one, first thing, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. So what have you put into place to make sure that you, on all days, not just good days, but all days, are ready to do your best?
So I have this powerful morning routine. I have this guided gratitude meditation, so I can get into that place even if it's a really rough day. And then I do this, I call it my morning joy booster. It's got affirmations. I read my vision. I read my why. That's probably one of the most powerful things, is connecting to why I'm doing this, knowing that it's beyond myself, to kind of remind me of how important it is for me to keep going on this, even when it's incredibly hard at times. And so, and then I read my values as well. And then journaling, these are my non-negotiables, and then exercise as well. Just walking, like,
I know that's right.
For my mind and mood and then health as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What about this? have you seen your sacred circle of friends change or grow or stagnate or run away as you moved from that girl into this girl? Because sometimes the people around us are like part of the problem, and then we start changing and we see that we need to change some of that too. Did you experience any of that, or have you yet?
Yeah, that's hard because some people that are really good people, but if there's a lot of negative energy and victim mentality, and I
Mm.
don't want to step back into that, and I have, I stepped out of that, and then it's like a cushy, cozy, tempting, I don't know, plate of food or something. So
Yes,
that
yes.
you may want to like indulge in. So I've done that a bunch of times. I really want to stay out of that and really continue to take responsibility for my life. And, even if stuff's going, it's really hard. And so it's hard to be around people that are not, and then people who gossip about other people.
Yeah,
That's me, and I don't
yeah.
want to do that. I don't want to be around them. So I find myself just
Toxic.
not reaching out as much. And even though it's hard because sometimes it's like they're really beautiful, caring people, and you've been through stuff with them and you spent time and energy into the friendship, but
Investment.
it's
Yeah,
hurting you
yeah.
to spend your
I
time
hear
with.
you.
Yeah.
I hear you. So
Love
let
the
me
things
let
for
me
letting.
take you here. Let me take you here real quick. We're almost out of time, but I want to touch on a couple more things before we leave today. So Mary, if you could look through the looking glass back to the girl, the Mary and Marco of 15, when um, with all that you know now that was coming down the road for her to face, what would you say to her if she was right there next to you and you could tell her something that you would hope would encourage her along the way? What do you think you'd say?
Well, um, you're
Mm.
gonna be okay, even though you feel like you're not gonna be okay, and you have goodness in you. You have no idea, and your dad saying all those things to him is his own sickness and not dealing with his own stuff. But it's his suffering. It's not because you're less than. It's not because you're the sibling that's screwed up because he chose to hurt you, um, mentally wail on you the most. It's has nothing to do with who you are, and it has everything to do with him. And you you have all these assumptions, and you have all this proof that you are not enough and that you are this worthless person. You can't do anything right. But have you ever taken the time to find the proof that you are? I know you haven't. So do that because it's there and you don't even know it, and because you haven't looked for it, and you just made all these assumptions. And the way the brain works, it just assumes that what you believe is true, and it finds evidence. Just because you have all this evidence is true, it doesn't mean it's true. It's absolutely not true. I
False
know.
evidence.
So
False evidence. That's what
I
they
love,
say fear is. False evidence appearing real. I
yeah.
believe that. That's beautiful. Thank you for that, Mary.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say, or who is a better way of phrasing it, would you say, excuse me, that you consider your ideal client? What does that person look like? What are they doing? What do they need? What are they missing?
So it's someone who has a calling on their heart. They really want to help people. They want to create this impactful, beautiful business. They really want to impact the world. They want to do this. They want to get paid to do this thing they love. They want to do this in a beautiful, authentic way. And they're trying to show up for it. And they feel like they're trying everything. And they may be starting to think that there's something wrong with them and that it's not possible for them. And it's on their heart. They want to do it. And part of them thinks they can, but a huge part is starting to think that they can't do it. That was past me. I get you and I hear you. And you just want to start making it real, start getting those paying clients, start actually actualizing this dream of yours, start impacting the world. You're just starting out, and you just have this huge heart, but you're really struggling, and I'm here to help you get out of your own way and to help you keep going and help you to reignite that belief in yourself that you can do this. And yes, you have this calling on your heart for a reason, because you're supposed to help these people that you feel called to help. You just need to get out of your own way in doing that, and be honest with yourself that it's yourself getting in the way and your fears. And just when you open up to that, that's when you can get past it. And it's not all these things that you're missing, like the million strategies that you're trying. And this is, you could do this, and I'm here for you, and I believe in you. And I know it's lonely and scary and triggering. Business is super triggering, and all the things come up, the not enoughs, the rejections, the you name it, success, failure, all that. And you can handle all this. And I'd love to help you.
What do you, excuse me, what do you love most about your life today, Mary?
Oh, what a nice question. I would say my ability, it's crazy to even say this or think this, but because of everything I've been through, the position I have, the understanding I have for people, the way I can connect with them on a deeper level because I get them. So having had the experience that I've had, and having also the tools the coaching certification tools that I have, so I learned how to help people. So the ability to speak to people and just to be in places like this and to meet, there's so many things. The gratitude of the opportunity to make the impact that I want to make, and to really make a meaningful impact in other people's lives, and to really touch their souls in the way they need it, and the way that mine was touched. And I really love that.
I want to say this to you, Mary, from you to me. I mean, from me to you. Ooh, was that senior moment? Reverse that. I want to say this seriously, from me to you. I want you to know this. I know you're ready to change people's lives and to help them change their lives and change the lives of others. I know that you're ready to tell and unpack this story, which is uniquely yours. And I know that your desire, that thirst that your soul has and always has had, even in the midst of your hardest times, was to do what is in front of you right now, even before you knew what to call it. But I'll say this, I want you to never forget that you were chosen for this work long before they even came up with certification programs. That isn't what makes your story so powerful. Some certification from people that probably don't even remember your name right now. But what makes your story so powerful is that your story will have your name on it for eternity, because it is uniquely yours. And so I just want you to remember that nobody gave you this power to have access to literal human souls. That's what we sign up for, you guys, when we say we're going to help heal some suffering in this world. We are asking what we believe to be greater than us to provide us with clear and undeniable access to the souls, the spirits, the hearts, the minds of other humans. And that is a powerful thing. So I just want you to know that. I am grateful to have met you. I know you're in the freshman class, and I, by all means, I don't think I'm a graduate yet or anything like that, but you remind me of myself just a few years ago. And so I want to encourage you, I really do, to keep going, keep growing, so that you can continue showing the world what you already know. Okay, so thank you so much. Listen, I want to give you a moment here to have your own little, you're probably too young for this to know Jerry Springer, but your own little Jerry Springer moment, as we have about a minute left. If people were to forget everything you and I talked about here today and remembered one sentence, what would you want that sentence to be? Go.
Your past doesn't define your future.
Well, good enough. Absolutely right. Listen, that's the wonderful thing about purpose, you guys. We never have to come up with anything. Mary didn't need to remember anything to know what she just told you, because just like you knew when you heard it, and I did too, I know what she said. I know this to be true. That is right. Listen for truth, because just like the bell, it has a ring to it. Mary, thank you so much. What a pleasure. I look forward to seeing all the wonderful things that you're going to do and to watch you continue what you're already doing. Great job. You guys, Mary'sESpeaks.com is one of the roads that you can check Mary out, perhaps get her in to speak to your group. Also, maybe you're a business owner who needs a little help, and that's something she can help you with too. Also, if Facebook is your jam, there it is on the screen, mary.emmarco.5. And we'll take the liberty of dropping both of these links inside your comment section immediately following the conclusion of today's broadcast. So, Mary, again, thank you so much. And I want to thank all of you out there. We couldn't do this without you, and nor would we want to. Now, here is my commission to all of you. Get out today. Find just a nitty-bitty piece of your highest self. Bring it home with you. Why? It just takes one E and one R. You woke up great. You woke up nice. You woke up smart. Tonight when you go to sleep nicer. Go to sleep brighter. Go to sleep stronger. And you'll wake up tomorrow ready to revive, refresh, renew, and replenish the world with more great you. So take that with you. Have the best day ever. Remember, I tell you every day as we get out of here, I absolutely adore you. I love you. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. All right. See you tomorrow for another great show, 8 a.m. Central. I'll meet you out on the front porch where we together have another illuminated conversation. Bye, Mary. Thank you so much. Great job. Hang out backstage. I want to say something to you before you go, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey,